Hi, I'm Kevin Depew. I'm the founder of Pahoola, and here is our story. First, a little about me. I'm from a small town in Illinois called Granite City, just off the banks of the Mississippi River. This small river town is also home to U.S. Steel, and right across the river from St. Louis, Missouri. Besides steel, Granite City is also known for tough, strong people, like this guy, the principal of Granite City High School, and my brother Darren. Today I live in St. Charles, Missouri, a historic suburb of St. Louis because of its ties to the Lewis and Clark expedition. But there are a lot of great places to visit in St. Louis. Enterprise Center, home of the St. Louis Blues. The Gateway Arch. Busch Stadium, home of the St. Louis Cardinals. Here in the Italian neighborhood known as The Hill, there are many great places to eat. It's also the childhood home of baseball legend Yogi Berra. I've spent my adult life working in places like this, producing all kinds of television and video projects. Today I work with 13 hand-picked people. These are the people that I want to work with. I'll introduce you to them right now. This is Samantha. She does many things here, takes care of the office, and she's also a very talented makeup artist. This is John. He's a very talented video editor, technical director, and technician. This is Elliot, and this is Tom. They're both very capable and talented writer-producers. This is Sean, a man of many talents.
Hi.
This is our art and animation studio. This is Brian. This is Nicole.
Hi.
And this is Jim. This is our recording studio. And this is our very talented sound engineer, Nate. Say hi, Nate.
Hi.
This is our very capable director of business development, Jeff. This is Kite. He's our chief engineer, and he handles all of our electronics. And he's the best tech I've ever worked with. I'm also married to his sister. Over these past 30 years, I've produced hundreds of hours of content covering a variety of topics. Medical video has been a big part of that. And the crew I just introduced to you, they help me deliver on patient education, physician training, nurses training, and advertising and promotion for medical facilities. You see, it's this experience producing all of this medical content that led me to create Pahoola in the first place. Because illness finds us all, whether it's our own illness or that of a loved one. This is my daughter, Corinne. Corinne fortunately looks like her mother. But when she was in college, Corinne was diagnosed with thyroid cancer. When I heard the term cancer applied to my young, vibrant daughter, I was scared to death. I immediately ran to the internet to look for anything I could find about thyroid cancer. What I found was paper after paper written by physicians with tons of technical jargon that was foreign to me. So I looked for video, and I found very little, which was particularly annoying to me since I'd produced so much of it. Today, we are blessed that Corinne is cancer-free, but it took 4 surgeries to get here. I'm very proud of you, honey.
Thanks, Dad.
During the time my daughter was being treated, I had a stomach ache for about 2 months. And apparently that's not something you should ignore, because I ended up in the hospital having an emergency appendectomy. While I was at home recovering from my appendicitis surgery, I decided to go online and look for information on my surgery and my recovery. And I looked for more video. And the only video I could find was actual surgeries. And I want to tell you, that's a bloody mess. This further convinced me that there is a hole in the marketplace, and the idea for Pahoola was born. My mission was now to build a video network aimed at patient education to get information to patients and their caregivers. The important aspect of this information is that it be presented in a manner that the average person can understand. For instance, when discussing a surgery or internal workings of the body, we use animation, which is much easier to watch than actual blood and organs. Our plan is to create a network designed like other streaming services that consumers are very comfortable navigating already. It is a big undertaking, but we have a perfect storm for creating this content. We have the production talent in place, access to medical subject matter experts, and the streaming technology to deliver straight to consumers where they are at home, at work, even at a medical facility. There is a business and revenue model to this endeavor, and I'd like to introduce Mark. Mark is a seasoned corporate executive who also has an MBA from Harvard, which is a very respected business school in Massachusetts. Mark?
After graduating from the prestigious business school, I spent a lot of years in Fortune 500 companies, and over the last decade, I've started working more and more with startups as an advisor and as an entrepreneur. The big question that always comes up with a good startup idea is, hasn't this already been done before? So I challenge you, just go to Google today, right now, type in a medical condition that your family has experienced over the last 6 months or year, and look at the content that comes up on Google. And you'll see it's very bad content. It doesn't really treat you as a patient, as a consumer, as a user, compared to like if you were shopping for a new car or a trip to Hawaii. It's very, very different kind of content. So then when I look at other startup kind of criteria, is this a big market? And obviously the healthcare market, it's 1/6 of the US economy. It touches tens of millions, if not hundreds of millions of consumers every year. And the second question is, can you make money in the market? And ultimately, Pahoola is a digital media play. It's a very mature, well-established business models and revenue models around how to make money with digital content. You create content, you drive traffic to the content, people watch the content, and that action can be monetized dozens of different ways. And the third criteria is, do consumers or users really care? And will they watch the content? And so we tested this with a minimally viable product on tonsillectomies that we did last year, a series of videos around tonsillectomy to test whether or not patients are interested in this kind of information. And what we discovered was, with very little investment, we drove tens of thousands of users to the videos. They engaged at a very high rate, and we were able to attract them at less than 20 cents per visitor or per view, which it can turn into very attractive metrics in the digital media space. And ultimately, why this hasn't been done before is simply that reason. The healthcare industry is slow to move, it's very inefficient, but the biggest issue is ultimately it does not view the patient as a consumer. With Pahoola, we're going to arm patients with the information they need to be a consumer. So the revenue models in digital media are well understood. WebMD, the biggest player in this space, is $1 billion company. It makes $750 million a year on text-based ads served up on the web. So that's clearly a business model that Pahoola can go after. There's also big opportunities with sponsored content from pharmaceutical companies, hospital networks, etc. And ultimately, we believe there's an opportunity for direct-to-consumer streaming media. So think about Pahoola as House of Cards. So a bit of a stretch, but clearly streaming networks are looking for content. And what more valuable content for a network to have than content that impacts the healthcare of their viewers? So before you ask, is Pahoola a viable business opportunity? In our opinion, the answer is yes.
Before we close, I want to answer the question I know you've all been dying to ask. How did I come up with the name Pahoola? So I was in a bar, and I was with a friend, and a group of other people came in, and they sat down. And one of the guys had been to South Dakota and visited the Crazy Horse Monument. So he started talking about the battle at the Little Bighorn, and he said that Crazy Horse had planned the attack on Custer. Well, I knew my history, and I disagreed with him. And I said, you know, Sitting Bull actually planned that attack. And it became a little bit of an argument, got a little heated, but then he finally agreed with me. So later at home, I got to question myself, was I right about Sitting Bull? So I went online to do some research, and I came across a Lakota Sioux to English dictionary. I was working on this project, so I decided to type in the word medicine. And the word for medicine in Lakota Sioux is Pahoola. Can you think of a better name for this project?